疑似よ偉業を見届けよ。
降参しなさい。諦めなさい。やよっ。
さて今こそ誕生の時。へいどけ。せやよっやっひゃとりゃ。
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Nufrontier. I am here to provide some additional resource for team building, as I feel like team building is one of my favorite aspects of Genshin, and coming from Pokemon VGC where team building is so highly sought after, I feel like Genshin kind of falls along the same lines of team building strategy and how different elements work together and how teams can really complement one another if you have the right team members on your squad. And so I want to further demonstrate that or convey that in this video, and we're kicking things off with Razor. Razor, I think, is one of the more underrated characters in the game. I'm not too sure why. I guess people just don't like the character, but to be honest with you, he is really up there with the likes of Ganyu and Eula as one of the highest DPS characters in the game. He does an insane amount of damage, and if you pair him well with the right characters, this guy will just completely erase most enemies in domains and even the Abyss. So I want to start off with team number 1, just to provide some insight and give you some reasoning as to why I've decided to make this team and why I like it so much. And so before all that, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoy the content. I'll be making more team building videos with different characters as we move forward. So hopefully this Razor video will be a great start, and of course it will not be the last. That being said, let's jump into things. So right now with Razor, as I said before, Razor is your selfish DPS. Razor wants to be on the field most of the time, therefore giving him the opportunity to take advantage of just about every facet of his kit, alongside supplementary characters that help to boost that DPS overall. So as you can see here, I have Albedo, Razor, Diona, and Ningguang. Razor and Diona work exceptionally well together, simply because Diona provides shields, allowing for Razor to go in and just go crazy and swing his Serpent Spine and just get all the maximum damage from the 5 stack of the Serpent Spine. And of course you get free heals with Diona as well, which can also supplement Razor to stay alive when the shield does happen to go down in a fight. The other two characters, Albedo and Ningguang, are fantastic as well because they add additional DPS potential to Razor. First and foremost with Albedo can drop his E, and that E provides an additional Geo DPS as far as damage. And Ningguang with her wall, if Razor runs through her wall while still under the Albedo AoE, he receives an additional bonus of geo damage through Ningguang's wall, allowing for his DPS potential to significantly increase even further, just again allowing for just insane amounts of damage potential in domains and the Abyss. So the way I see team building is really all about trying to create a sandwich. And so when you're thinking about a sandwich, you want to make sure that your core, the meat, in this case the meat is Razor, you want to make sure that the meat has its flavoring, or at least everything on that sandwich supplements and provides more flavor to the overall meat itself, therefore creating a delicious and very satisfying meal. So anytime you're creating a team, it's not just throwing your favorite character on a team and then pairing it with random characters in hopes that it'll work. It really comes down to knowing the elements, knowing the characteristics of each character, and most importantly, knowing the flow of what a team is all about. And so, for example, in this case, you have your core main DPS carry, and so you never want to have a team where you're relying on two main DPSs, because then you're kind of funneling between two very powerful characters. you want to be focusing primarily on one. And so in this case, you have Razor, everything else is being channeled into him, and thus creating a more consistent, a more well-rounded team that once again provides everything you need in a team. You have shields, you have healing, and you have consistent high DPS damage. And of course, burst support. Everything that you need in a team is right here, and this fantastic team for Razor. So what I'd like to emphasize as well for Razor is that he really does shine on teams that provide him super conduct, just because with super conduct, as you already know, that provides a physical resistance shred on most enemies, allowing Razor's damage potential to significantly increase, which is fantastic for him. And that's why you want someone like Diona on his team, because she can then proc that ability or proc that reaction, thus giving Razor a chance to go full on beast mode and just wreck shop. So that is team 1. Team 2, I'd like to emphasize as well. This team, I want to just kind of remove Mona. You don't have to have Mona on this team. You can actually go for a straight super conduct team like this. So this team is actually quite versatile in that there are so many options you have as far as your flex slots for a super conduct team altogether. Now, the reason why I had Mona there, Mona doesn't necessarily work that well with Razor, and it's just because her Hydra application with Razor isn't the greatest. You're better off with someone like Shincho if you wanted to have, let's say, a Hydra member on the team. And the reason why I say having a Hydra member on the team is important, or it can be effective, is that with a Hydro and Cryo, you're obviously implementing freeze. And with freeze, that means that you're preventing the enemies from moving around. And that is perfect for someone like Razor who wants to be up close and personal with the enemy at all times. And so having someone like Shincho to provide consistent freeze with, like, let's say Chi-Chi or Rosaria can be really vital to Razor's DPS potential on the field. So if you do have Shincho, I don't have him at the moment, but if you do have him, by all means use him. Barbara really isn't that consistent as far as her application. Of course, she's there for healing, but you already have Chi-Chi if you are going to use her. But if you didn't have Chi-Chi, you could opt for Barbara if you wanted to. Just be mindful that when you do proc your E with Barbara, you are now being, you've applied the Hydro onto your character, which means that if you get hit with, let's say, a certain attack that's cryo, you're going to be frozen, and so you got to be careful with that. So Barbara, again, her application is not as concise as, let's say, someone like Shincho, who is just very consistent, well-rounded. So you're better off with him if you wanted to have a team that provides some Hydro application. For now, though, you could always, like I said, you can opt for even someone like Diona here. So you can have Razor, Rosaria, Fischl, and Diona. This team still works well because you have the opportunity to have a shield for Razor, heal, and of course you have Fischl for off-field damage to proc the super conduct for Razor. Of course, Rosaria can be there as well to proc it alongside Diona. So this team can really be, again, quite well-rounded as well if you're looking for a very just concise super conduct team overall. Again, you can always swap out Fischl for someone. Maybe if you wanted to, you could even go for Lisa if you wanted to, if you have her. I haven't really messed around with her, but if you have her and you like her, you can always opt for her too. But again, I'm not too confident about how Lisa can apply things compared to someone like Fischl, who is just very consistent. She's just, really good to apply super conduct right off the bat with Oz. So you're better off with, let's say, someone like Fischl. And then, like I said, if you wanted to, you could always opt for a Hydro character. Like I said, you can do Shincho. I'm just putting Mona here just for the example of Hydro, but you can have, Razor, Rosaria, Fischl, Mona, and this team can definitely work out for you if need be. So overall, so long as you are optimizing Razor, so long as everything is being funneled into Razor, you should be okay. And I honestly would say if you have healing, you're better off with a healer on your team, because you do definitely want someone to provide extensive healing to Razor, because he's going to be on the field the most. And surprisingly enough, Razor and Chi-Chi do work because of the orbs that Chi-Chi provides with her E. And if you are running the clam set on Chi-Chi, surprisingly, that actually benefits the team even more, because that provides physical damage through the clam's burst. So once that clam bubble bursts, you're actually giving Razor even more DPS potential with that. So if you do love Chi-Chi, Razor and Chi-Chi can be great because once again, she with the new 4 clam set, she's actually really good, and of course she just provides substantial healing for the whole team. So that can work out for you. And like, you know, you could always swap out Fischl, like I said before. I don't want to repeat too much, but you can also swap her out for someone that's a Hydra applicant, like let's say Barbara if you do have her, but be careful. And then of course a more consistent option being Shincho. And that's team 2. So I feel like these two teams together right now are like really consistent. Of course you can probably opt for like a taser team, like I said, with Shincho, and you could also opt for like a third option, and I'll put this option here as well if you want to. This is like a third team, you know, bonus. But I feel like with Razor, as I mentioned before, Superconduct is really his best fundamental tool when it comes to dealing maximum amounts of damage, because he is a physical damage DPS. He wants to make sure that he's getting that Superconduct proc right off the bat, so he can really maximize his damage output. So this team here can be great if you're looking for maximum, you know, attack buff with Bennett and his Q, and then you have a shield with Xinyan, and as well at C4, Xinyan provides additional physical shred, which can of course supplement Razor as well. But the only caveat is that you have to micromanage this team very well. There's a lot of elements to deal with. Of course, you have Kaya, who can supplement Razor with Superconduct, but once again, you also do have 2 pyro characters. So while you are getting your pyro resonance for your additional attack buff alongside Bennett, you have to be very careful with how you rotate, because otherwise you might run the risk of ruining your Superconduct. And then with Overload isn't necessarily the best for Razor, just because, you know, Overload provides an explosive damage that can really disperse enemies. But if you are able to micromanage yourself and really deal with characters sufficiently, this team can actually be one of the better teams for Razor as well. And of course, you know, as I said before, we're going back to like team 1, you could also supplement like someone like, you can put Zhongli on this team if you wanted someone else, or let's say, you know, take out Diona, put Zhongli on there, and then maybe put Chi-Chi as well. Again, I don't have Zhongli, but you can put, let's say, Chi-Chi and Zhongli on the team, so you have a full shielder, then you have a full healer, then you have Razor, and then of course Albedo can be swapped out as well if need be. So hopefully this video has helped you with regards to the best teams that I feel are really good for Razor right now. There's of course a variety of different variants of the teams that I've mentioned that you can obviously use as far as Superconduct is concerned, but these ones right now provide a really consistent amount of damage and really help to supplement Razor in a very big way. So hopefully this has helped you. Look forward to more videos with team building moving forward. This is just the beginning, and I would love to provide more. So before, of course, all things are done, I will provide you with a little showcase of the team that I had earlier, which is the consistent team of Albedo, Razor, Diona, and Ningguang. So if you want to skip to that, by all means, go to and watch that for now. Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your support. Be sure once again to like, subscribe, and comment if you want to see more team building content. And that is it. Welcome back to Nufrontier. See you next time.
パーフェクト。
これが運命です。聞きたまえ、ここにて命ずる諸行無常。
貫け。やっ。へい。よっ。ほっ。はっ。くらえ。
許さない。やっ。諦めた。
お、行け。
はっ。とりゃ。 や
許さない。眠るのよ。
運命よ水面に諸行無常
よ
諦めた。
戻れ
せややほっひゃとりゃよ
ヘイカ水中言語
諦めた。
行け
よせや